Welcome to This Side of 50, the podcast where men of all ages come to gain clarity, confidence, and direction. I'm Milton K. Smith, your host, a seasoned voice that's living, learning, and leveling up. I'm here to share with you knowledge, understanding, and wisdom that I've gained throughout the years. Each week, we'll tackle real-life challenges, share practical tools, and hopefully inspire you to keep going. If you're ready to gain clarity, confidence, and direction, then this is your podcast. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the time is that you're listening to this podcast. Thank you so much. This is This Side of 50, Not Your Grandparents podcast. I am your host. I am here. I got a special guest with me today. My little puppy. He's not a puppy. He's like 4 years old. Max. Max is here with me, so he may decide to chime in. If so, just take his comments into consideration. All right. We're so glad you're here with us. Hey, this is our 8th week, our 8th episode. We are so excited that you've hung out with us. Take this opportunity, if you would, and like, share, subscribe, whatever the case may be, this podcast, if you find value in it, if you think others can be helped by it. So we're going to jump into this week, pain or progress. That's our discussion for today, pain or progress. Once again, I'm an ex-CrossFitter. I'll say ex-CrossFitter or repositioned CrossFitter. That was one of the turning points in my life as far as getting myself back into healthy shape or getting into a healthy lifestyle. And the lessons that I've been talking about, we've been discussing over the last 8 weeks or so, are those lessons I've learned from CrossFit that apply not just to CrossFit, but also to my personal life. So I'm sharing them with you. So here's the first thing. We'll start here with pain or progress. All pain speaks, but not all pain says stop. If you ever have done any exercising, started working out, gotten back into a fitness program, the first couple of days after that initial workout, you're going to feel some soreness, you're going to feel some pain. And usually what happens, a lot of people, they will use that as their reason to stop, that'll cause them to become depressed and they shy away from it. And then the next thing you know, they're no longer working out, no longer walking. But all pain is not a signal for you to stop. Some pain, and we'll talk about it as we go into this episode, as we talk about it in the next 10, 15 minutes, go over this. So some pain is just the results of use, the results of in lack of use, or whatever the case may be. In the military, we would say that pain is weakness leaving the body. So all pain speaks, all pain talks to you, all pain has a voice. Some pain is louder than others, some pain talks longer than others, it speaks longer, but it doesn't necessarily mean you should stop. And you're going to have to reassess the pains in your life to determine if they're if they're telling you to stop, or if they're just saying, hey, you're using this muscle, you're using this process, you're changing the system, and you're getting that weakness or getting used to the new you, the new style that you are moving in, the new path you're moving in. Growth often hurts, but before it helps. Growth often hurts before it helps. Growth hurts, but it helps. Growth hurts, but it helps. Growth hurts. If you know anything, if you can remember anything about your childhood, when you would grow out of your sneakers, those shoes would be kind of tight, but that was a good thing. That let you know that you were growing. You had to get some more shoes. So growth, change. Remember we said previously that change happens over time. It takes time. Where growth often hurts before it helps. You'll have to deal with the pain of growing before you oftentimes see how much that growing is helping you. I was in a conversation with one of my daughters this morning, and I often quote this: to whom much is given, much is required. To whom much is given, much is required. Don't complain about the much required if you want the much given. That's how growth is. If you want to change, you're going to have to grow. Don't be so quick to complain about the pain of growing if you want the rewards from the change in growing. Evaluate discomfort. Is it injury or is it improvement? That's what we were alluding to when we first started. All pain speaks, but not all pain says stop. Sometimes that discomfort, and we use the word discomfort because pain often turns us off. Pain has a negative connotation to it a lot of times, and we don't like confronting pain. Discomfort is a little easier to deal with. We can digest it better, right? But is it injury or is it improvement? Am I experiencing this discomfort because I've injured my knee, or am I experiencing this discomfort because I'm improving the strength of my knee? When you have physical therapy, if you ever went through therapy, that physical therapy oftentimes hurts, but that hurt is actually improvement. It's the growing process, it's the healing process. In CrossFit, I had to fix my mind that every time I felt pain was not a sign of injury. Every time I felt some discomfort was not necessarily indicator for me to stop. Sometimes it was actually improvement, that those muscles are being stretched, those muscles are being used, those muscles are being taxed. That particular routine, that particular exercise, although it's challenging, is causing some discomfort, is actually allowing me to improve in that area of my physical fitness. Don't abort your process because of temporary soreness. Don't allow temporary soreness to cause you to give up on what you're trying to achieve in your career, in your health, in your relationship, in your finances, in your thought process. Changing your thought patterns can be painful. Changing how you approach things can be painful. Don't allow that soreness to cause you to stop and go back to complacency. And remember now, you can be content, but you don't have to be complacent. You can be happy where you are, but that doesn't mean you have to stay where you are. Don't abort your process because of temporary soreness. Pain can be the pulse of purpose awakening. Pain is oftentimes the signal, the indicator, the motivation that, hey, you're on the right path. Hey, you're growing. Hey, you're improving. You're stepping out. Things are changing for you. And pain oftentimes is the only indicator that you'll get that you're moving to a new area, that you're elevating, that you're walking in a new way of life, that you're repositioning yourself. Sometimes the pain is not injury, but lack of use. I said that. Sometimes the pain is not injury, but lack of use. The lack of use. The pain you feel may be the witness of progress. The pain that you're feeling may be the witness of progress. Think about that. Is this pain really testifying to the fact that I'm making changes? And if so, that's a good discomfort. That's an acceptable pain. Is it the testimony that I've changed how I used to be? I'm changing from how I used to be, and I'm growing into something bigger, something better. I have to evaluate this pain. I have to assess this pain to make sure that I'm not just quitting because I feel change happening and I'm objecting to that change. When it comes to our health, with the remaining minutes that I have for our talking points today, soreness means you're stretching to new limits when it comes to your health. In CrossFit, that was one of the mantras I had to remind myself, that this soreness really means I'm stretching my body. Overhead squats made me sore. I was stretching my body. This week, when I did overhead squats, definitely not the same amount of weight, but I'm doing overhead squats and it still causes some discomfort. When I'm stretching, I have not stretched those muscles. I'm getting back into the routine. Back squats, front squats, definitely not the same amount of weight. The weight has lowered, but still stretching those muscles and getting those muscles active and having those muscles go to new limits that they haven't been pushed in times past, or they have been slacking, as I would say, sandbagging in times past. That soreness means I'm stretching to new limits. So in your health, that change in diet, that walking once a day now for 5 or 10 minutes, and it's causing you some discomfort. Just make sure that discomfort is not the result of you stretching to new limits. Definitely you want to check it out, because I'm not telling you to ignore your pain and don't seek medical assistance or medical advice, but make sure you're examining it and you're not using that temporary pain as a reason to quit, as a reason to not stay the same. When it comes to your finances, discipline hurts before it helps. Discipline hurts before it helps. A lot of times I go in the store, I want to buy things that I see. We all have tendencies to be emotional shoppers. Men, we are often accused of having midlife crisis, and we go out and do things, buy things that we may or may not need. That spider, whatever that case may be, or whatever it is that we're looking at, that new motorcycle, that RV, jewelry, whatever it is, right? Emotional shoppers, midlife crisis, call it what you want. Discipline hurts before it helps. It hurts sometimes when you have to discipline yourself and tell yourself that the things you want are not the things that you necessarily need. Wants can wait. Needs are mandatory, but wants can wait. And sometimes the discipline to wait and not just go after your wants, it hurts. But that's going to help your finances. That's going to help your end state, your end goal. In relationships, honest conversations are necessary discomforts. When I got married, our counselor, our pastor that was counseling us, we had one particular session where we had to write down what 5 things we did not like about our future spouse. I thought that was going to be the end. We were not going to get married, and that was that. And that was not the case. That honest conversation, although it was a level of discomfort, it was necessary. And even now, in relationships, you're going to have to, at times, have those necessary, discomforting conversations if you want your relationship to last. And that ties right into your career, right into entrepreneurship, your business goals. Learning new skills can feel awkward, but keep pushing. Having those awkward conversations with your employees, with your managers, with your supervisors, with your chiefs, whatever the case may be. Having those necessary, uncomfortable, discomforting conversations, learning those new skills that make you feel awkward. That's the time when you have to keep pushing. That's the time that you have to keep going. Don't allow the discomfort, don't allow the awkwardness of the moment to cause you to pull back, to draw back. Learn to speak up. Learn to ask what you want. Ask for what you want. Write down your goals. Share your individual development plans with your boss, with yourself. Matter of fact, talk to yourself. What do you want? What's the end game? What's the end goal of everything that I'm doing? Those are the conversations that can create pain, or if you want to call it pain, but it also promotes progress. More progress than pain. Once again, you have to ask yourself, have I been using pain as my excuse not to progress? Am I using pain as my excuse not to progress? Don't quit because it hurts. Heal through the stretch. Don't quit because it hurts. Heal through the stretch. A lot of times as men, we don't deal with hurt well. So when things hurt us, we tend to pull back. We don't want to go through the healing process of stretching. But I'm encouraging you, don't quit because it hurts. Heal through that particular stretch. Heal by stretching. Excuse me. Heal by pushing through the awkwardness. Heal by having those conversations with our spouse, with our partners, with the relationships, with our children, with our sons, with our daughters, whatever the case may be. Have those conversations. Have that hurt, that discipline of hurting when you're trying to discipline yourself and your finances, knowing that, hey, this is necessary in your health. This is necessary. Exercising, eating right. That type of pain is not the pain of injury. It's the pain of progress. Well, here's our question for the day, for this week. Where in your life have you mistaken discomfort for damage? Now you have to do some assessments. We've had 7 questions, 7 weeks of reflection that we can sit down and go back over our lives. We can apply it to our daily situations as well, and also to our future events in our lives. But where in your life have you mistaken discomfort for damage? I have learned to look back in my life and say, hey, right there, that wasn't actually an injury. That was my desire not to keep going. So I used that temporary pain as my reason to stop. I found an excuse. I found a reason not to. I found a reason to avoid it. So that became, in my mind, damage. It really wasn't damage. It was discomfort. But I wanted it to be damage in my cognitive dissonance. I wanted it to be the reason why I didn't have to keep pushing. The reason why I didn't have to stretch myself to new limits. The reason I could avoid the awkwardness, not have that necessary conversation, whatever the case may be, because I said this particular discomfort, this particular pain, this is injury. And really, it was not injury. It was just the remnants of the results of progress. So this week, pain or progress? Ask yourself that. Go back, review the previous episodes and get all those questions and line them up and say, now I'm looking at these questions. I'm looking at this reflection. Here I am. Now I can see, hey, that's not really pain that's caused by injury. That's really me growing. And that's what we want to do here on this side of 50. We want to examine, assess, evaluate, whatever words you want to use so that we can be better on tomorrow than what we were on today. Remember, your only competition is you of yesterday. Don't allow the fear to stop you, because whatever fears you don't conquer today, my brother, my friend, my sisters that may be listening, you will have to deal with those tomorrow. And change takes time. So I'll see you next week. That's all I have for this episode. You be careful. Stay safe. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Well, that's all for today on This Side of 50. If you found value in today's episode, make sure to subscribe, share with a friend, and leave a review. Connect with us on social media for updates, tips, and inspiration between episodes. Remember, keep living, keep learning, keep leveling up, and most of all, don't settle. And I'll see you in the next episode.